Within the walls of St. Mary's Hospital, a symphony of urgency and routine plays out. Medical professionals dash between patient rooms, doctors swiftly exchange critical instructions, and the waiting area thrums with a hushed tension. Amidst this dynamic landscape, Karen, the hospital's manager, moves with purpose through the corridors. In her early 40s, Karen is renowned for her direct approach and unyielding demeanor. Her tailored suit and ubiquitous clipboard are as integral to her persona as her short fuse. She has cultivated a reputation for maintaining order, although some perceive her as more of an autocrat than a leader. Karen's day veers off course when she spots a man entering through the hospital's main doors. Clad in a red MAGA hat, a plain grey t-shirt and jeans, his casual attire contrasts sharply with the formally dressed staff and elegantly attired patients. This individual is none other than Elon Musk, but his modest appearance allows him to blend in, unnoticed by most. Karen, however, spots him instantly and is immediately on high alert. Before we immerse ourselves in the narrative, remember to subscribe and share where you're watching from in the comments. Your support will enable us to deliver more compelling stories from Karen's viewpoint. From Karen's standpoint, this man embodies trouble. She watches him approach the reception desk, his hat boldly displaying a slogan she abhors. To her, this isn't just a hat. It's a symbol of disruption, and she's determined not to let it sow chaos in her hospital. Without a moment's hesitation, Karen advances, clipboard in hand, her heels echoing sharply against the floor. Elon acknowledges her with a polite nod, but Karen's expression remains glacial. "Excuse me," she says, her tone clipped and authoritative. "Can I assist you with something?" Elon, ever composed and courteous, responds, "I have a reason for being here, but I'd rather not cause a scene. I just need a quick look around." Karen's eyebrows arch upward. "A quick look around? This is a hospital, not a sightseeing spot," she snaps. "We don't permit political statements here, and frankly, your hat is making people uneasy." Elon surveys the area, noticing a few inquisitive glances, but no signs of discomfort. Nevertheless, he remains unruffled. "I'm not here to make a political statement," he clarifies. "I assure you, I won't be in anyone's way." Karen remains unmoved. "Listen," she says, her voice rising just enough to draw attention. "I don't know who you think you are, but you need to leave now." Elon's calm demeanor starts to disconcert her. He neither argues nor raises his voice. Instead, he gives her a measured look and responds, "I'm not here to cause trouble, but if you feel that strongly, I'll go. Just remember, appearances can be misleading." Karen scoffs, folding her arms. "I'll take my chances," she retorts. "Security will show you the way out." Elon offers a faint smile and departs without another word, escorted by 2 security guards summoned by Karen. As he exits, he casts a thoughtful glance back at the hospital. Meanwhile, Karen resumes her rounds, feeling satisfied with how she handled the situation. Little does she know, her world is on the brink of dramatic change. The following day at St. Mary's Hospital begins like any other, with Karen already patrolling the halls by 8 a.m. sharp. Her clipboard is filled with the day's tasks, meticulously organized to her exacting standards. She wears her usual stern expression, scanning the corridors for any disruptions to the hospital's carefully maintained order. As Karen issues instructions to a nurse about a misfiled report, a commotion at the reception desk draws her attention. A small gathering of nurses and patients seems to be whispering and discreetly pointing toward the entrance. Frowning, Karen strides over to investigate, her heels clicking on the polished floor. Her heart sinks as she sees him again, the same man from the previous day, wearing the red MAGA hat, the casual shirt, and the calm demeanor. It's all exactly as she remembers. "Excuse me, sir," she says, her voice sharp enough to cut through the murmurs. The crowd disperses at her tone, leaving Elon standing alone. He regards her with a polite but inscrutable expression, clearly unfazed by her hostility. "You again," Karen says, crossing her arms. "Didn't we make it clear yesterday that you're not welcome here? I won't let you disrupt this hospital with whatever you're trying to prove." Elon offers her a faint smile and responds calmly, "I'm not here to disrupt anything. I simply have business to attend to." "Business?" Karen repeats, her voice laced with skepticism. "What kind of business could you possibly have in a hospital like this? Unless you're here as a patient, visitor, or employee, you have no business being here." Elon tilts his head slightly, as if considering his words carefully. "I assure you I'm not here to waste anyone's time, but I have every right to be here." Karen's temper flares. This man's calm, almost amused demeanor grates on her nerves. "Who does he think he is, strolling in here like he owns the place?" she thinks. "Let me make this perfectly clear," she says, stepping closer. "If you don't leave right now, I'll have security escort you out again." By now, a few staff members are watching from nearby, their faces a mix of curiosity and unease. Some recognize the man and exchange nervous glances, but none dare intervene. Karen's authority is well known, and challenging her is something most employees avoid. Elon sighs softly, his patience seemingly unshaken. "You seem very determined to have me removed," he says, his voice quiet yet firm. "But let me ask you this. Are you absolutely certain you're making the right call?" Karen scoffs, her cheeks flushing with indignation. "Yes, I am. Now leave, or I'll make sure you regret staying." Elon nods slowly, as if accepting her decision, though his calm expression doesn't waver. "Very well," he says. "But remember, you've judged me without knowing who I am or why I'm here. Sometimes appearances can be deceiving." Karen waves her hand dismissively and summons security, who approach cautiously, clearly uneasy. Elon allows himself to be escorted out without resistance, leaving Karen standing triumphantly at the entrance. As he disappears through the doors, a hush falls over the room. One of the younger nurses whispers to another, "That's him." Karen hears the murmur, but dismisses it as meaningless gossip. She's far too pleased with herself to care. To her, the situation is resolved. Little does she know, tomorrow will bring a far greater surprise than she could ever imagine. As the sun rose on the following day, Karen stepped into her role at St. Mary's Hospital with renewed confidence. The drama with the mysterious man in the MAGA hat was surely behind her. She took her usual post at the front desk, her clipboard grasped tightly, ready to ensure another smooth day. Little did she know, the calm was merely the eye of the storm. Just before the clock struck noon, a gleaming black SUV pulled up to the hospital's entrance, stark against the backdrop of ordinary patient drop-offs. Heads turned as the vehicle came to a smooth halt. A suited driver emerged, opening the passenger door to reveal Elon Musk. He was still wearing the now infamous red MAGA hat, but had paired it with a tailored blazer, exuding an air of formal nonchalance. His confidence was unshakable as he strode toward the entrance. Karen spotted him instantly. Her jaw tightened, and her grip on the clipboard became a vice. "Not again," she muttered under her breath. She stormed toward the entrance, her heels striking the floor with increasing force. Elon entered the hospital, his gaze sweeping the lobby with an almost serene calm. Karen intercepted him swiftly, her voice echoing through the bustling hallway. "You again," she declared, drawing the attention of nearby staff and patients. "What will it take to keep you out of here? A restraining order, perhaps?" The growing crowd could feel the tension, whispers rippling through the air. Some staff members recognized Elon but were too shocked to intervene. Karen, oblivious to the murmurs, pressed on. "This is a place of healing, not a stage for your political theatrics, she snapped. Your hat and your attitude are not welcome here. Elon raised an eyebrow, his composure unbroken. I'm sorry if my presence offends you, he said evenly, but I assure you I have every right to be here. Karen laughed sarcastically, her voice reverberating through the hallway. Oh, really? And what right would that be? You're not a patient, a visitor, or an employee. You're just lingering. Security guards from the previous day appeared, looking visibly uncomfortable. Karen turned to them, pointing dramatically at Elon. Escort this man out of my hospital and make sure he doesn't come back. The guards exchanged nervous glances. One of them hesitated before saying, Ma'am, are you sure about this? I think there might be a misunderstanding. Karen silenced him with a glare. No misunderstandings. Just do your job. The guards reluctantly approached Elon, who offered no resistance as they guided him toward the exit. As he walked away, he turned back to Karen and said with a faint smile, You're very determined. I'll remember that. Karen scoffed and waved him off, turning to the staff and patients, some of whom were visibly shocked or disapproving. Back to work, everyone, she commanded, as if nothing out of the ordinary had happened. As Elon left the hospital, a nurse leaned toward her colleague and whispered, She really doesn't know, does she? The colleague replied, That's Elon Musk, the new owner of the hospital. The nurse gasped, her eyes darting toward Karen, who was still standing at the entrance, basking in her perceived victory. Meanwhile, Elon stepped into his SUV, his expression calm, but with a glint of determination in his eyes. This isn't over, he thought to himself as the vehicle pulled away. Inside, Karen remained blissfully unaware of the storm that was about to hit. Her overconfidence was about to be shattered by a reality she never saw coming. The stage was set for a revelation that would change everything. In the wake of the second expulsion, Karen strides into St. Mary's Hospital, feeling unstoppable. The past 2 days' events have only bolstered her conviction that she is the linchpin holding the hospital together. She sweeps into her office, eager to conquer another day. Yet something is amiss. A muted hum of whispers seems to flutter among the staff. People huddle in corners, exchanging anxious looks, and fall silent as she passes. Karen's eyes narrow, but she brushes it off as inconsequential. Likely chattering about some petty drama, she muses. She retrieves her coffee and settles at her desk, perusing the day's schedule. However, before she can finish the first page of her notes, the phone interrupts her. Karen speaking, she answers briskly. Miss Karen, the receptionist stutters. There's someone here to see you. Karen's brow furrows. Who is it? It's Mr. Musk. I mean, the man you had security escort out yesterday. He's in the conference room. Karen's grip on the phone tightens. What? Why would he? Never mind. I'll deal with it. She hangs up, muttering, This man is relentless. She bursts out of her office, charging toward the conference room with her characteristic resolve. As she nears, she observes something peculiar. The conference room, usually reserved for executive meetings, is devoid of its typical inhabitants. Instead, several key administrators sit inside, appearing tense and uncertain. At the head of the table stands Elon Musk, his red MAGA hat notably absent, but his calm assurance palpable. Beside him is the hospital's chief financial officer, Mr. Andrews, who avoids Karen's gaze as she enters. Would someone care to explain what's happening here? Karen demands, her eyes scanning the room. And why is he here again? Mr. Andrews clears his throat nervously. Miss Karen, please have a seat. I prefer to stand, she retorts, turning to Elon. Why are you here? I thought I made it clear you're not welcome. Elon glances at Mr. Andrews, who nods apprehensively. Then Elon speaks, his voice steady yet firm. Miss Karen, it's time we address some misconceptions. Karen folds her arms, her irritation mounting. Oh, really? And what misconceptions might those be? Elon takes a step forward, his gaze locked onto hers. You see, Miss Karen, I'm not just some intruder causing disruption. I'm here because, as of last week, I am the majority shareholder of St. Mary's Hospital. In other words, I'm your superior. The room goes silent. Karen's assured expression wavers as she absorbs his words. Her mouth opens slightly, but no words escape. She looks at Mr. Andrews, who confirms Elon's statement with a solemn nod. No, that can't be true, Karen says, her voice trembling slightly. Why would someone like you? Because I believe in enhancing institutions like this one, Elon interjects calmly. And honestly, I think St. Mary's is in dire need of some changes, beginning with how it treats its people, employees, patients, and visitors alike. Karen's face flushes as she feels the collective gaze of the room upon her. I had no idea, she stammers. That much is evident, Elon responds, his tone incisive yet controlled. But lack of knowledge doesn't justify your actions. You've made some severe judgments over the past few days. It's time to confront them. Karen's heart races as the gravity of Elon's words settles in. For the first time, she understands the magnitude of her error, and this realization is just the beginning of her reckoning. The air is thick with anticipation, and the stage is set for a transformative journey ahead. A thick pall of tension hangs over St. Mary's Hospital the following morning. Word has swept through the corridors like wildfire, leaving staff in a flurry of whispers and anxious glances. The bombshell revelation, Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur, is now the owner of their institution. While some employees buzz with excitement, others shift uncomfortably, worried about the implications for their jobs. But no one is more shaken than Karen, seated in her office, nervously drumming her pen against the desk. Sleep has been elusive since the mortifying expose in the conference room. Elon's words echo relentlessly in her mind. You've made some serious judgments. Now it's time to address them. Uncertainty claws at her, a relentless gnawing in the pit of her stomach. Just as she steels herself to dive into her daily agenda, a soft rap at the door interrupts her thoughts. She braces herself, expecting another administrative messenger bearing bad news. "Enter!" she calls out, her voice clipped. The door swings open, and her heart lurches. There, standing calmly in the doorway, is Elon Musk. His attire is sharp, a tailored suit, no sign of the contentious MAGA hat. A faint smile plays on his lips. "Good morning, Miss Karen," Elon says, stepping into the room without awaiting an invitation. Karen bolts upright, her voice quivering but polite. "Mr. Musk, I wasn't expecting you." "I thought it was high time we had a proper conversation," Elon replies, closing the door behind him. "Our interactions thus far have been less than ideal." Karen swallows hard, her hands gripping the edge of her desk like a lifeline. "I'd like to apologize for the misunderstanding, Mr. Musk. I didn't recognize you, and I may have overreacted." Elon arches an eyebrow. Overreacted? He settles into the chair across from her, uninvited. "You mean the part where you publicly shamed me in front of your staff, or perhaps when you had security forcibly remove me, twice?" Karen recoils, her cheeks burning with humiliation. I'm truly sorry. It wasn't personal." "Not personal?" Elon leans in slightly, his calm demeanor belied by an undercurrent of steel. "Tell me, Miss Karen, would your response have been the same if I hadn't been wearing that hat?" Karen's gaze flickers away, unable to meet his eyes. She remains silent, the weight of her actions pressing down on her. "I thought as much," Elon says, leaning back in his chair after a pause. "You made a snap judgment based on my attire, and in doing so, you disrespected not just me, but the core values this hospital should uphold: fairness, professionalism, and compassion. Karen nods vigorously, eager to make amends. You're absolutely right, Mr. Musk. It won't happen again. Elon studies her for a moment, his gaze unwavering. Then, surprisingly, he smiles. I hope not, Miss Karen. While I believe in accountability, I also believe in second chances. Karen blinks, taken aback. Second chances? Indeed, Elon says, rising from his seat. I'm not here to punish you, Miss Karen. I'm here to elevate this hospital, and that includes ensuring its leadership embodies integrity and respect. But you'll need to prove yourself. Karen exhales slowly, a wave of relief washing over her. I won't disappoint you, Mr. Musk, I promise. Elon nods, his expression softening slightly but remaining firm. Good. But remember, promises are empty without action. I'll be watching closely. Before Karen can respond, Elon moves toward the door, pausing just before he exits. And Miss Karen? Yes? Let's ensure our next encounter is under more favorable circumstances. He offers a faint smile and departs, leaving Karen standing in her office, stunned but determined. As Elon traverses the hallway, staff members step aside, their eyes wide with a mix of curiosity and newfound respect. He pauses to engage with a nurse, inquiring about patient care and the hospital's challenges. The staff is struck by his genuine interest and humility, and a sense of hope begins to permeate the air. Karen watches from her office window, realizing that Elon is far from an ordinary CEO. If she wants to keep her position, she must rise to the challenge, and quickly. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation, and the stage is set for a transformative journey ahead. The whispers of uncertainty are slowly replaced by a burgeoning sense of optimism as the hospital braces itself for a new era under Elon Musk's leadership. Karen finds herself adrift in uncharted waters, haunted by Elon's words. Promises ring hollow without action. Burning with determination to redeem herself, she resolves to confront the stark truth about her leadership style. For years, she had prided herself on enforcing order and discipline, but now she sees the stark reality. Her approach was devoid of compassion and understanding. If she is to salvage her career and dignity, change is not just an option, it's an imperative. The first trial arrives more swiftly than she anticipated. Elon has convened a meeting with the department heads to discuss the hospital's future. Karen understands this isn't just another routine gathering, it's her chance to prove she can evolve. She meticulously prepares, delving into financial reports, patient surveys, and staff evaluations. Yet she knows mere data won't impress Elon. He seeks the human essence behind her leadership. The meeting unfolds in the hospital's grand conference room. Elon, seated at the head of the table, radiates an aura of calm authority. Department heads file in nervously, uncertain of what to expect. Karen takes her seat, clutching her notes like a lifeline. Thank you all for being here, Elon begins, his voice steady and commanding. Before we delve into the specifics, let me make one thing clear. The success of this hospital depends on our collective effort. Leadership isn't about issuing commands. It's about serving others and creating an environment where everyone can thrive. Karen shifts uncomfortably in her seat, feeling the weight of his words. Elon continues, Let's start with a simple question. What's the biggest challenge facing this hospital? The room falls silent. No one dares to speak, fearing they might say the wrong thing. Finally, a young nurse manager tentatively raises her hand. I think morale is a significant issue, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. A lot of staff feel overworked and underappreciated. Elon nods, acknowledging her courage. Thank you for your honesty. And what do you think would help improve morale? The nurse manager glances at Karen before returning her gaze to Elon. Better communication from leadership would be a good start. Sometimes we feel like our concerns aren't being heard. Karen's cheeks flush as the nurse's words hit home. She realizes that her authoritarian style has created a chasm between her and her staff. Elon turns to Karen, his gaze piercing. Miss Karen, as the hospital manager, what's your perspective on this? Karen takes a deep breath, steeling herself to admit her mistakes. I think she's right, Karen confesses. I've been so focused on maintaining efficiency that I've neglected to listen to my team. That's something I need to work on. The room seems to relax slightly, impressed by Karen's candor. Elon gives her an approving nod, signaling that acknowledging the problem is the first step toward resolution. Now let's discuss solutions. For the remainder of the meeting, Elon facilitates a collaborative discussion, encouraging everyone to share their ideas. Karen takes notes, not just on the logistics, but on the way Elon interacts with the team. He listens intently, validates their concerns, and offers constructive feedback. It's a masterclass in leadership, and Karen finds herself deeply inspired. As the meeting concludes, Elon approaches her. You did well today, he says, his voice firm yet encouraging. Leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about learning and growing. Keep that in mind. Karen nods, a small smile forming on her lips. Thank you, Mr. Musk. I'll do my best. Good, Elon replies, his expression softening slightly. Because this hospital needs leaders who care as much about people as they do about results. For the first time in years, Karen feels a spark of hope, not just for the hospital's future, but for her own growth as a leader. The air is charged with potential, and the stage is set for a transformative journey. With each step, Karen edges closer to becoming the empathetic and effective leader her team deserves, ready to navigate the challenges ahead with renewed purpose and determination. The whispers of doubt begin to fade, replaced by a burgeoning sense of optimism and unity among the staff. In the ensuing weeks, Karen embarks on a transformative journey inspired by Elon's exemplary leadership. She steps out of her administrative cocoon and immerses herself in the daily life of the hospital staff. Her mornings begin with rounds, greeting everyone from nurses and doctors to custodians and cafeteria workers. Initially, her presence is met with surprise. Most are accustomed to seeing Karen only when problems arise. But as days turn into weeks, her efforts begin to feel authentic. One morning, Karen notices a nurse struggling to assist a patient in the ER. Without hesitation, she steps in, steadying the patient's IV pole and helping them into a wheelchair. The nurse looks at her, astonished. "Miss Karen," she stammers, blinking in disbelief. Karen offers a genuine smile. "Just Karen is fine. Let me know if you need anything else." Moments like these slowly rebuild the trust she had lost. Word spreads quickly, and for the first time in years, the staff begins to see Karen in a new light, not as a distant manager, but as someone willing to get her hands dirty and be part of the team. Karen also initiates weekly listening sessions, providing a safe space for staff to openly share their concerns and ideas. During one of these sessions, a janitor speaks up about a broken cleaning machine that has been ignored for months. "I've reported it 3 times, but nothing's been done," he says, his frustration evident. Karen immediately takes out her phone and makes a call. Within 24 hours, the machine is repaired, and the janitor thanks her personally. "I didn't think anyone cared," he admits. "I do," Karen replies sincerely. Meanwhile, Karen turns her attention to patient care. She organizes a town hall for patients and their families to share their experiences. A mother tearfully recounts how a nurse went above and beyond to comfort her son during a difficult procedure. Karen ensures the nurse receives recognition during a staff meeting, a move that earns her a standing ovation from the team. Karen's newfound dedication does not go unnoticed by Elon. During one of his visits, he observes her working side by side with a nurse in the pediatric ward. Later, he pulls her aside. "You're doing good work," he says. Karen smiles but shakes her head modestly. "I still have a lot to make up for." Elon chuckles. "We all do. But what matters is that you're showing up every day and proving you're willing to change." That's the kind of leadership this hospital needs. Karen's confidence grows as she realizes the power of humility and action. She begins tackling long-standing issues within the hospital, from streamlining schedules to ensure staff aren't overworked to launching a mentorship program for young nurses. One afternoon, during a meeting with department heads, Karen presents a bold new initiative, a scholarship fund for low-income students pursuing careers in healthcare. "We need to invest in the future of medicine," Karen explains. "This isn't just about running a hospital, it's about changing lives." The room erupts in applause, and Elon nods approvingly from his seat. As Karen walks out of the meeting, she feels a weight lift off her shoulders. She knows she's far from perfect, but for the first time in years, she feels like she's truly making a difference. Later that day, as she passes a nurse in the hallway, the nurse stops her and says, "You've changed, Karen. We're lucky to have you." Karen smiles, her eyes misty. "No," she replies softly, "I'm lucky to have all of you." In that moment, Karen finally understands what it means to lead, not through fear or authority, but through empathy, service, and a genuine desire to uplift those around her. Her redemption is no longer just a hope, it's a reality. The air is filled with renewed energy and unity, setting the stage for a brighter future at St. Mary's Hospital. The transformation is palpable, and the hospital buzzes with a newfound sense of purpose and camaraderie. In the passing weeks, St. Mary's Hospital undergoes a profound transformation. The atmosphere shifts, becoming lighter and more hopeful. Staff members, once weary, now buzz with renewed energy, and patients can't help but notice the positive changes. The initiatives Karen implemented, both significant and subtle, have begun to reverberate through every corner of the hospital. Employees who once approached their jobs with trepidation now arrive with a rekindled sense of purpose. To celebrate this new era, Elon hosts a grand gathering to honor the staff's dedication and resilience. The cafeteria is transformed into a festive event space, adorned with vibrant decorations, catered delights, and lively music performed by a local band. Staff and their families revel in the rare opportunity to relax and bond outside of work. Midway through the festivities, Elon takes the stage, dressed casually in a jacket and jeans, exuding both ease and command. "When I first walked into this hospital," he begins, his voice steady and captivating, "I saw immense potential. I saw people deeply committed to their patients and colleagues, but constrained by a system that didn't fully support them. Change isn't easy, but this team has shown that it's possible when we work together." The crowd erupts in cheers, and Elon gestures for silence. "Tonight, I want to recognize someone who embodies what this hospital stands for: compassion, growth, and leadership. Karen, please join me on stage." Karen pauses, momentarily stunned. But the resounding applause from her colleagues propels her forward. She ascends the stage, her heart pounding. "I don't know what to say," Karen begins, her voice trembling slightly. "When Mr. Musk arrived, I thought he was just here to shake things up and leave. But he did so much more. He taught me what it truly means to lead. And while I still have a lot to learn, I want to thank each and every one of you for giving me the chance to change. This isn't just my hospital, it's ours." The audience rises to their feet, cheering enthusiastically. Tears well in Karen's eyes as she steps back from the microphone. Elon places a reassuring hand on her shoulder, whispering, "You've earned this." As the evening winds down, Karen finds herself standing beside Elon, watching the joyous scene of staff members laughing and socializing. She turns to him and says, "I never thought I'd say this, but thank you for everything." Elon chuckles warmly. "Thank yourself, Karen. I just gave you the opportunity. You did the rest." The next day marks the beginning of a new chapter for the hospital. The walls, once echoing with tension and frustration, now hum with hope and determination. Karen continues to lead with unwavering empathy, dedicating herself to ensuring the hospital remains a beacon of care and innovation. The story concludes with Karen visiting a young patient in the pediatric ward, sharing a story and promising to bring their favorite treats. As she exits the room, she feels an unprecedented lightness, a testament to her newfound understanding of leadership, not as control, but as service. The hospital thrives under this renewed ethos, proving that change, though challenging, is undeniably worth the effort. This tale serves as a poignant reminder of the transformative power of humility, empathy, and second chances. Have you ever been granted the opportunity to change or to help transform someone else's life? Share your stories of growth and redemption in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. The air is filled with a sense of unity and renewed purpose, setting the stage for a brighter future at St. Mary's Hospital. The transformation is palpable, and the hospital buzzes with a newfound sense of camaraderie and optimism.